How's it going today, gamers? It is the main character, the creator of this universe himself. Today, we are filming my final project for current events class. It is a podcast. We will go over stuff about how crazy Florida is, stuff about how crazy my neighborhood is, and I don't know what else. Yeah. Alright, first off, and most importantly, we need to introduce where I live, this neighborhood. This place is wild. It's crazy. There's crime all over. You could walk out for 10 minutes, and if you go onto the wrong street, you will get stabbed. It is wild. There is Mrs. Jessica the Valley, a crazy woman. All kinds of drugs, burning houses down, stabbing people, all kinds of crimes. It's crazy. Roads are broken. Man, there's AIDS in the water out here in Whispering Valley. It's crazy. We all have penis cancer because we're all dying. You know? It's terrible. Alright, now we start talking about the other thing this episode's about. Florida. Now, Florida, it's a pretty crazy place. Now, this specific part about Florida is even crazier. There's Mr. Florida Man, who goes by the Florida Pee-wee Man, who was caught and accused of exposing himself to shoppers at Target, Walmart, and other stores. Now, this was in Port Charlotte, Florida, okay? This guy was arrested after allegedly exposing himself to multiple shoppers while at Target, Walmart, and other stores. Like said before, they say Xavier Pee-wee Hearns exposed himself at least 2 times in a week. On April 19th, a woman who claimed a man, who later identified himself as Hearns, had started touching her and touching himself inside a neighborhood Walmart store in Port Charlotte the day before. Now, personally, I think this guy, he needs to just chill out. Maybe kill himself, you know? That's kind of creepy. Maybe end his life a little, you know? Now, days later, on April 25th, deputies responded to a Burlington store after a woman said Hearns was acting suspicious and making her uncomfortable while exposing himself to her in plain sight. Alright, Hearns was found and arrested the next day of charges of exposure of sexual organs. That is one crazy way to say indecent exposure. Now, my personal opinion on this guy, he just has L-Riz. No Riz. For sure a loser, that man. I bet he smokes crack or something. showing people his stuff. That's wild. Alright, now we talk about Florida man speeding through Kissimmee in a stolen Mercedes. Now he had 15,000 pills of not just any opiates, but fentanyl, which is kind of wild to have that much fentanyl on you. Alright. Jonathan Nicola, he's 22, of Kissimmee, was arrested for felony fleeing and eluding among several drug charges after thousands of pills were found during a traffic stop. On Thursday, this was a while ago, though, so Thursday's probably like 4 months ago or something. A trooper had spotted him unlawfully changing lanes while cutting off a marked FHP car. The tag for the Mercedes had reportedly been stolen, which is kinda wild to steal a Mercedes of all cars if you're gonna try to get fentanyl somewhere else. You gotta pick a more indistinguishable car, you know? A more hidden car or something, if you're gonna try to traffic fentanyl. Such a goober. Alright, as troopers attempted to conduct a traffic stop, Nicola allegedly reached speeds of over 100 miles per hour, sideswiped another motorist, and drove the wrong way multiple times. Ooh, this guy's a real bad guy, isn't he? This is truly wild. Nicola eventually crashed the car before being taken into custody. When troopers searched Nicola's car, they found a digital scale and several small bags in the driver's door pocket. After searching the car some more, troopers found a loaded 9mm drug paraphernalia and a box containing a clear, vacuum-sealed bag containing 15,000 pills of fentanyl made to look like Oxycontin. Now, in my personal opinion, on lacing people, it's kind of evil, you know? Lacing people is kind of morally incorrect, in my opinion, and shouldn't be done. And personally, I believe anyone who laces someone should have their skin cut off and fed to them like it's bacon. Alright. The car was also discovered to be stolen out of Lee County with a fake temporary tag and cloned VINs on both of the doors of the window. What the heck? Nicola was taken to the Orange County Jail without bond and was charged with the following: trafficking in fentanyl, 4 grams or more felony; synthetic narcotic manufacturing, Schedule 1 or 2 felony; Possession of a controlled substance without a prescription felony. Possession of drug equipment, paraphernalia used to manufacture or transport drugs felony. Grand theft of a motor vehicle felony. Possession of a vehicle with altered numbers felony. Weapons offense, use, display, firearm during felony. Flee, elude police, aggravated, fleeing with injury or damage felony. And moving traffic violation, reckless driving with damage to person or property misdemeanor. That's a lot of felonies. That guy's kind of crazy. I bet he has a lot of fun, doesn't he? Such a silly goober. Seems like someone Jessica Whispering Valley would get along with really well. Man, that woman's crazy. Burning houses down, stabbing her boyfriend. At daytime, too. Alright, next one. Alright, for this next one, there's this 50-pound bass stolen from Florida Bass Pro Shops, okay? Now it's crazy. Someone just walks in and steals this 50-pound fish in Fort Myers, Florida. It's wild. This dude just goes in there. I don't know why he wanted to steal the 50-pound fish, but personally, I don't blame him. I would love to be able to brag that I have stolen a 50-pound fish, because that is objectively a pretty funny crime that man committed. And in my professional opinion, as the creator of this universe, that man is a W person and deserves to be treated better than everyone else, too. That man is he's one of the main characters. See, I'm the main character, but he can do his own thing sometimes, you know? Listen, gamers, now I think it's about time that we compare Whispering Valley and Florida. Now, Florida, let's look up how many deaths they have per year. Alright, deaths in Florida, 2020. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. We're gonna see once it loads. Alright, chat, get ready for how crazy this is. Now, Florida, they rank 7.4. I don't know what that means, but that's death rate. Now, their deaths, I don't know what year this was, but 1,468 deaths. That's a bit of people. That's for sure. You know? That is a lot of people. Anyway, I no longer have anything to talk about. I ran out of stuff, so now I'm gonna start talking about the Sydney funnel web spider. The Sydney funnel web spider, Atrax robustus, is a species of venomous Myphoglormoth spider native to eastern Australia, usually found within 100 kilometers or 62 miles radius of Sydney. It is a member of group of spiders known as Australian funnel spiders. Its bite is capable of causing serious illness or death in humans if left untreated. The Sydney funnel-web spider has a great body length ranging from 1 to 5 centimeters, which is 0.4 to 2 inches. Both sexes are glossy and darkly colored, ranging from blue-black to shades of brown or dark plum-colored. Alright, taxonomy. Octavius Pickard Cambridge was the first to describe the Sydney funnel-web spider from a female specimen housed in the British Museum in 1877. Establishing the genus Atrax, he named it Atrax robustus. The species name is derived from the Latin robustus, meaning strong, sturdy, or mature. Some years later, William Joseph Rainbow described a male Sydney funnel-web spider as a new species, Elutemia tabilis, from a spider he had found under a log, Enteramura, and from another mossman he was... Mossman? What? Malachi. Why are there places called mossman? What the heck? Bro, Australia is crazy. My friend Malachi over there, he's got some crazy stuff going on. There's mossmen, whatever that is. Anyway, that guy coined the scientific name from ancient Greece, which is crazy. The word means well built, and I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to. And the last part of the name means of the tibia, which is kinda crazy. If you think about it, you know? Distribution and habitat. Distribution is centered on Sydney, extending to the north to the central coast and the south near the Awara region. Those Australians have some funny names for stuff. God, I love the Australians. Such a beautiful people. The spider can be found in moist microhabitats, including under logs and foliage. Sydney funnel-web spiders are mostly terrestrial spiders, favoring habitats with moist sand and clays. Now we go on to the spider's behavior. Get ready for this, everyone. Alright, they typically build silk-lined tubular burrow retreats with collapsed tunnels or open funnels, entrances from which irregular trip lines radiate over the ground. In some expectations, which lack trip lines but may have trapdoors, the silk entrance tube may be split into two openings in a Y or T form. The spiders burrow in shelter habitats where they can find a moist and humid climate, for instance under rocks, logs, or border holes in rough-barked trees. The long-lived female funnel web spends most of the time in their silk-lined tubular burrow retreats. When potential prey, which includes insects, lizards, or frogs, walk across the trip lines, they rush out, subduing their prey by injecting their venom. Males, recognized by the modified terminal segment of the palp, tend to wander during the warmer months of the year, looking to looking for receptive females to mate with. This makes encounters with males specimens more likely, as they sometimes wander into backyards or houses, or fall into swimming pools. The spiders can survive such immersion for up to 24 hours, trapping air bubbles on hairs around their abdomen. Sydney funnel-web spiders are mainly active at night, as typical daytime conditions would dehydrate them. During the day, they seek cover in cool, moist hideaways. After heavy rain, spider activity is increased, as their burrows may be flooded. When threatened or provoked, funnel-web spiders will display aggressive behavior, rearing up on their hind legs and displaying their fangs. When biting, the funnel-web spider maintains a tight grip on its victim, often biting repeatedly. Symptoms of a bite on a human from one of the spiders. Alright, the bite of a Sydney funnel-web is intentionally very painful, with clear fang marks separated by several millimeters. The size of the fangs is responsible for the initial pain. In some cases, the spider will remain attached until dislodged by shaking or flicking it off. Physical symptoms can include intense nausea, vomiting, copious secretion of saliva, muscular twitching, and breathing difficulty, disorientation, and confusion leading to unconsciousness. Treatment is possible, though. Treatment. Alright, a Sydney funnel-web bite is regarded as an emergency. Alright, that's kind of wild. Requiring immediate hospital treatment. Current guidelines for antivenom recommend 2 vials or 4 vials if symptoms of envenomation are severe. Patients are assessed every 15 minutes, with further vials recommended if symptoms do not resolve. The most vials used to treat a bite is 12. The patient was a 10-year-old boy who was bitten in February 2017 by a male Sydney funnel-web spider that was hiding in a shoe. The antivenom was developed by a team by Strutton Sutherland at the Commonwealth Serum Laboratories in Melbourne. Since the antivenom became available in 1981, there have been no recorded fatalities from Sydney funnel-web spider bites. In September 2012, it was reported that stocks of antivenom were running low, and members of the public were asked to catch the spiders so that they could be milked for their venom. 1 dose of antivenom requires about 70 milkings from a Sydney funnel-web spider. The Australian Reptile Park receives Sydney funnel-web spiders as part of its milking program. In January 2016, they received a male Sydney funnel-web spider with a 10-centimeter or 4-inch leg span. The spider was described by the park as the largest specimen that they had ever seen. Alright, that was the entire Wikipedia page for the Sydney funnel web spider. That was kinda crazy. Now, let's look for something else to yap about. Alright, gamers, I found something to yap about. We are now on the Wikipedia article for Islamic toilet etiquette. Get ready for this, 'cause it's about to be crazy. This is gonna be insane. Let me just open everything. Alright. It is a different, like, there's different sections, though. Let me look through this. Alright. Islamic toilet etiquette is a set of personal hygiene rules in Islam that concerns going to the toilet. This code of Islamic hygienal whatever that word is Qada al-Haga. Personal hygiene is mentioned in a single verse of the Quran in the context of ritual purification from a minor source of impurity known as the wudu verse. It is interpreted, or its interpretation is continuous between different legal schools and sects of Islam. Further requirement with regard to personal hygiene are derived from a hadith, and these requirements also differ between sects. Rules: a Muslim must first find an acceptable place away from the standing water, people's pathways, or shade. It is advised that it is better to enter the area with the left foot facing away from the Qibla, direction of prayer towards Mecca is what that is. It is reported in the collection of the Hadith that is one of the 6 books of Sunni Islam right there. Yeah, that's what that is. I don't know how to pronounce that's name. But it's mentioned in there that just before entering the toilet, Muhammad said, "O God, I seek refuge in you from that which is evil, and that which is evil," following his example. The Muslims are advised to say this dua before entering the toilet. That is wild. Being forced to say a prayer before you go to the bathroom is actually crazy. I could not imagine doing that. Anyway, while on the toilet, one must remain silent. Talking and initiating or answering greetings are strongly discouraged. When defecating together, 2 men cannot converse nor look at each other's genitals. Eating any food while on the toilet is forbidden. After defecation, the anus must be washed with water using the left hand, or if water is unavailable, with an odd number of smooth stones or pebbles called jamra or hijara. That is crazy. Similarly to the male or female genitals, it must be washed with water using the left hand after urinating. A procedure called insintija it is commonly done using a vessel known as a aftabeh, loda, or badna. When leaving the toilet, one is advised to exit with the right foot and say the dua for leaving the bathroom or toilet. Praise be to Allah, who relieved me of the filth and gave me relief. Alright, liberals, to end this episode, I didn't really know what to do, so, yeah, I'm gonna just read the first paragraph of Neon Genesis Evangelion's Wikipedia article, with the theme song to that show playing. Alright, get ready for this, gamers. Neon Genesis Evangelion is a Japanese media franchise created by Hokkaido Anno and owned by Kara. Most of the franchise features an apocalyptic mecha action story which revolves around the paramilitary organization NERV and their efforts in fighting hostile beings called angels, using giant humanoids called Evangelions, or Evas for short, that are piloted by select teenagers. Subsequent works deviate from this theme to varying degrees, focusing more on romantic interactions between the characters, plot lines not present from the original works, and reimagining the conflicts from the original works. The Neon Genesis Evangelion manga debuted in Shonen Ace in December 1999 to generate interest in the upcoming anime release. The Neon Genesis Evangelion anime was written and directed by Hokkaido Anno, originally airing from October 1995 until March 1996. General consensus is that this anime was groundbreaking in its exploration of religious, psychological, and physiological themes, while intentionally appearing to be a standard mecha show. However, there was some debate over its controversial ending. In response, 2 films were made to provide an alternate ending for this show. Neon Genesis Evangelion Death and Rebirth, released in May 1997, and The End of Evangelion, released in July 1994. Death is a 60-minute compilation of parts from the 24 episodes of the TV series, with some new footage added in order to prepare for Rebirth, which contains the last 2 episodes and the first 30 minutes of The End of Evangelion. The popularity of the show spanned numerous additional medias, including video games, radio dramas, audiobooks, a light novel series, Takino machines, and a trilogy of films titled Rebuild of Evangelion. Others derivative works include Angelic Daves, Petite Eva Evangelion at School, and Shinji Ikari Rising Project. Oh yeah. That's it, gamers. That's the podcast for current events finals. Oh yeah.